Uh, mm, what happened to Cosmic Love? All right, we're live on Facebook. I don't know what happened. Anyway, our friend's coming on, our beloved sister, Cosmic Love. She's coming on. Let's see, that's no. Hello, Jenna Lee in the Zoom room. Let me go ahead and share this out. We're going to have a good time tonight. Just waiting for our guests to come in. If these shows resonate, please share. We're getting really suppressed on Facebook like we never had before. So if you could share it to your page or to one group, that'd be cool. Hello, Sabrina Claire Rowan Hamilton in the Zoom room. We're still waiting on our guest. She was here and then she got knocked out. Let's see, who's this? Hello from London. Hello, London. Let's see, it's what, 2:15 a.m. in London. Hello, Bliss Tears. How's it going? We're just waiting on our guest. She'll be here. She was here and then she got knocked out. All right, so let me go ahead and share this through the network. Then I'll send her a message and see what's happening. All right. That link doesn't let me in. All right. She needs a new link. There she is. All right. What's happening, everybody? What's going on? Got a lot to talk about tonight. What's happening, Cosmic Love?
Hi. Aloha.
Aloha. What's going on? It doesn't feel like aloha over here.
No.
It's a little cold. It's a little chilly, and I think you're further north than I am.
Well, I
Yeah, it's a
am,
little
but I'm on the coast.
Right on. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're probably like an hour inland. Yeah, we're directly on the same latitude as Eureka, California, which is supposed to be beautiful. Yeah, actually, I've seen pictures. It looks like Hawaii. You know, it actually looks like
Really?
Hawaii.
Eureka looks
Yeah.
like Hawaii?
Yeah. Oh my God, I've seen pictures. We were supposed to go there like the first weekend we were here, and it didn't work out. So
Well, I'm sure you'll get there. Should I post this link?
We're leaving.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you can. I posted the link, and
Okay.
hang on. Let me put it.
I'll
Let me
just
put
share
it in the
it.
comments. I always put it in the comments.
Is it the same one as before?
Yeah, it was the same one the whole time. Yeah.
Okay.
But use the last one I gave you.
For to post on my Facebook page?
Yeah. You can,
Okay.
yeah. Or you can just share it on your page. Either
Yeah.
way.
Okay.
All right. So we have
we got a little like kind of rattle in the line or something.
All right, hang on. On my end?
Yeah, I think so.
Should be okay. How's
Okay.
that? Is
Um,
that all right?
yes,
How's that?
I think that probably sounds better. Let me turn it up. See, I'm on my full volume here, and I'm sitting outside of a grocery store. I had a library room booked for uh,
Oh,
our
you did?
earlier gathering, but yeah, I couldn't get anything for now. So it's the best we can
Man,
do.
well, I have to apologize for that. Our car's been in the shop for 8 days, right? So we're in a
What?
cabin. Yeah, we're in a cabin on 44 acres next to 200 acres of government property on a river with mountains all around, and it's beautiful. But I never knew what the term cabin fever meant until now. So we haven't left the house. And there was a lady who we met, and she's like, "If I go into town, I'm going to come right back. I'll let you know." And she said, "I'm leaving at 2 and coming back at 5." I said, "We're going." I said, we got to go. We got to go to the town. We got to go do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah. So hopefully our car get out in the next day or two, and you know how it is on a wing and a prayer. I know you travel that way. We're
Oh
traveling on a
yeah.
wing and a prayer. I'm not even trying to
Yeah.
calculate the gas money. I'm not even thinking about hotels. I'm just like, okay, we're just going to drive. And when she says stop, I'm going to say no. I'm going to keep going.
Well, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. And I think, let me see what we got going on here. Um, I think we ought to talk about a lot of things. I know you got some stuff that you've pulled in. We talked
Yeah.
last night. We ought to let everybody know that you, Morgan, and I talked last night. Uh, but so for those that haven't been around for a long time, we met Cosmic Love, and this was 2 summers ago, and she was the 400th, exactly the 400th show we'd ever done. So like when we got on, and it just was like this. I think we were actually on the air, and we were like, okay, something came in like 5 minutes ago, and you're like, yeah, something came in like 5 minutes ago. So we were already connecting. Anyway, so we've got a pretty strong connection. And so then what? We did a few shows. You'd go off on your sabbaticals, get off Facebook, and go do your thing. And then the next thing I know, I'm in Kauai. Think I'm going to live there forever, but you know how it goes. The universe is always going to make you do something else. We have our first house. We have our first apartment. We're in Hawaii. We're barely making it, but it's like two young teenagers, like getting married, you know. Yeah. And then you call me up and take me to this place, this paradise in the middle of nowhere, where this guy 15 years ago is walking through the woods basically in Hawaii and comes across his house with all these overgrown shrubs on it. And he decides he's going to clean it up and live there. And 15 years later, there's like 55 hippies and light workers at this place in an afternoon doing a static dance. I'm like, what's going on? And then the next time I saw you, I was walking down the street, and you and Symphony pulled up and busted me smoking a cigarette. That's the first thing I remember. I was like, oh, what am I going to do with this? Yeah. So you were in Kauai, and we left, and you went back. Are you back in Vancouver Island?
Yep. We are in the grids of
Okay.
Albion, where the planetary logos is
Yeah.
held for humanity's ascension. And
Yeah.
yeah, went on and off Facebook, let's be honest, to my little dance with the military. Might as well just talk about all these things now since it's all complete. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, all of these wonderful apps provided for us that have been fantastic surveillance systems. Um, so we did
Of course.
yeah. Um,
But
uh,
the way that, it's all the same God substance. And
exactly.
even like with the moon, like with the moon. I mean, like with the moon. Okay. Something's put out there for the purpose of control, right? But it still has the God substance, which means we can work with it and whatever it is and turn it back around on their ass. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
exactly
I get
the
what
thing. It's all
yeah,
love, and
I get what you're saying.
that's why I feel that this drop in today is really about just like speaking very honestly, openly authentically about these things, because
Yes.
that's part of what this day is today, of cosmic love. It's the day of integration of all of these systems that we created and that we agreed on. And all of these systems are coming down. And every aspect of our spiritual essence is in profound celebration of that, regardless of which role we have played. And so that's why I'm saying my little dance with the military and some of the many realms of those players
Mhm.
on the board. Might as well just call it out now, because we are simply love. And that's the fun of this moment. I shared on my page today what's happening inside of the dream spell calendar, which was brought through by Jose and Lloydine Arguelles. And really, that calendar was all about love, and they were providing us shortcuts. If we think of ourselves in like this holographic snakes and ladders kind of game, Jose and Lloydine came along and went, hey, you guys want this shortcut? Here's the way. It's called love. And we're going to show you how to jump through those snakes and ladders hoops to move more quickly through the game, because quite frankly, the game was getting boring for everyone and it had run its course. And that's where we are today. So can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit, and I was getting
Okay.
into that, and
Here,
then I
hang
kind of
on.
missed something. But let me see if I can. Let me see. No, I got you.
Okay.
No, it was on my end. It was on my end, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
But let me go. Let me see if I can pull it. Let me see if I can pull it back. Hang on one second.
Okay.
So you were talking about, and I know because we've talked about them before. Okay, yeah, I know what I was going to say. Or what brought it? What came up in me was like, so after all this trip, now we've known each other 2 years, but like 2 years, the last 2 years, if you've known somebody for 2 years, the last 2 years, that's like knowing somebody for like 20 lives. You know what I mean? I mean, if you have any kind of connection. But what I was going to say is, after all this, after everything, after all the crap and after all the following the guidance and doing the crazy stuff and just, and all that stuff that leaves you continuously perpetually perplexed, and where you just say, I surrender. That's it. Do we want to speed it up?
Yeah.
Or is the speed, and I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm just like, this is why I do what I do, because I love to just try to expand. But I mean, really, I'm like that. I'm always like out there, like what's out there? What are we working towards? What's going to happen? And the universe keeps like going, hey, it's right here. Get your head out of that. So I wonder, as we expand in awareness, we become more aware, cognizant of what I can only call programs. A program to me is anything that's a belief system where I say, okay, I'm doing this, this is right, and nothing else matters. And then a new reality comes in, you're like, okay, well, throw that away. I don't know. What do you think? Do we need to fast track? Do we need to speed up? I mean, what do
Here's
you
the
think?
thing. If it's not fun, don't do it. And what we're coming out of is our experience of time. So, do we need to speed time up? Well, if we want to go beyond the speed of light, that's called quantum. We had this belief inside of our little systems here called physics that we're being taught in school, saying we couldn't go beyond the speed of light, which is bogus, because actually the place we want to get is beyond the speed of light, which means dissolving our association and belief in the construct of time. So do we want to speed time up? Actually, we want to dissolve it altogether. We want to dissolve it in totality, because, I talk about this all the time. And even though I burned the book on the 2-strand DNA called The Gene Keys, the 60th gene, the transformation of our external world occurs when what's going on?
No, I was gonna say, wait a second. You always drop those bombs, like you're so smooth in your flow, and you're like da da da. You're just like, and then you're like, the two books that I just burned, and and then you just kept going. I'm, I'm
I
just,
I burned that book on two-strand DNA on behalf of all of us because all containers are meant to dissolve. All containers are meant to crack, including the gene keys and the book on the gene keys. And nothing can become a Bible.
yes,
And
yes, and
so that's why I burned
this
it.
is what I was. That's why I was asking. Well, that's why I was asking the question I asked in the same spirit. Does that make sense? In the same energy of curiosity. I'm like, okay, well, do we want to speed up? Is the gold and like, and I know, I mean, beyond new ageisms and light worker, uh, funny sayings or good sayings or whatever you call that, you know, being present in the present beyond the words, like really, really soaking in all the multidimensionality in the present, in the space of other people or by yourself. Like you said, these containers, they dissolve. I never heard anybody say that, but it's true. It's like what was true today and what served us today. We wake up in the morning and it's all gone,
Exactly.
you know?
That's because time isn't real. So we're, I've used this metaphor so many times before, but it's like if you're driving down the freeway in Germany, where there's no speed limit, and you're going in a car that goes forwards and backwards, and all of a sudden your car turns into a spinning gyroscope, what are you going to do? That's what's happening. And so the only reason that
Yeah.
we hold on to
That's it.
time is
Yeah.
is to have a sense of safety and security. But the thing is, just let it go. And we're quantum. And quantum, we can't get present from the place of the mind. That's the beauty of the final sequencings, of the decoding. It can't be decoded from the mind. It can only be decoded
No.
when the heart and the mind merge, and we are no longer being guided by the person that we were. It's when spirit takes over. That's free flow. That's
Yeah.
quantum. That's
Yeah.
miraculous. And the place
Yeah.
that is where we want to go, so to speak, that's happening right now is that
Yeah.
we used to have quantum miraculous, but it was still on the kind of this horizontal level. But now it's quantum coming from all these directions. Like, you know, you get phone calls from one person, you go, oh, that's one aspect of the beloved. And then you get a text message from someone that you haven't spoken to in like 6 years, but it's another message from the
And
beloved.
then
And
then you get, yeah. Then you get reamed on social media, and that's another message from the beloved.
what happened to you on social media? Don't worry, it's all a farce.
Which time? I know. I'm with you on it. I get it. I was talking to somebody in the last week on one of these shows, and I don't remember the context of the conversation, but it was a lady, what she was saying was how in her journey, how the mind was like watching, in other words, the mind, because of all the other aspects that were coming in and she was embodying, the mind's kind of stepped over here first in specific incidences, and then other times, right? So what she was saying was, she said, Todd, what's coming in, every part of me is hearing the language of it and is understanding it, but there are no words. So the mind's left out. The mind's like, here's we tell the mind what's happening because the body gets it, the electrical gets it, all of all of our essence gets it in all these different ways. And it's not coming in like that. You know what I mean? It's not. So
So,
that's the same kind of thing you're saying to me.
yeah. And here's the thing right now from my own process and my own journey. And always praying, just like, send me clear and cosmic signals. Where do you want me? What do you want me doing? What I'm experiencing right now with the group that I'm with is that there's a whole lot of tantric teachings going on in my world. And Tantra is really
What
not
does
the
that
right.
mean?
yeah, Tantra is really not the right word for it, but it's the word that a lot of people are using for their teachings, because they are working to uplift people's Kundalini. So here's the thing. Right now, we're embodying the spirit into the form. So what would be really powerful right now on this love stream together, because this is all about cosmic love, would be, instead of the two of us talking, what if we just took a moment to ask this question to each other, to ourselves, and to everyone who's listening? What do you love in this moment? What do you love the most about yourself? Because we want everybody participating now, and we want everyone feeling what it means to tune in intimately and communally. Because the only thing that's real is the relation of you and me beyond this veil. That's the only thing that's real. So we want to ask questions. We want to try various forms of movement. We want to put ourselves in vulnerable positions on our edges.
Other than, I was going to say, other than it's actually the same thing here. It is.
Other than what's the same thing?
I mean, we're connected here too. You know, I mean, we're actually connected here too. And that's what's so powerful. You know, you said, what do you love most about yourself? And if you think about the fact that we're actually manifesting, materializing in the physical, what you just said is our connection, which is obviously, you know, you said on the other side or whatever, you know, in these other dimensions, in the multidimensionality complexity, we are connected. We all know that. We're actually bringing it in here at this level. That's it. You know, that's why if I look at this, that's why I was interested about the tantric thing, because, you know, I've had Kundalini experiences. I had my first one in my 20s, but I also had a bunch of shadow, you know? So, I mean, I'm interested to see if people, if it works, number one, okay. And that's really all there is to it. If people are actually can shortcut or whatever, fast track and activate Kundalini and avoid having to go through all this shedding that we've all had to go through. I think this is where the gold is in this digging in ourselves, especially when you throw on the colossal journey so many people have, especially like you know, climbing government fences, and you're about to tell us about what just happened in the last few weeks with the military. I mean, it's still about you, you know?
And you know what
Right?
it's about? It's about, we all know it, but it was about overcoming our fear. I had a really potent meeting a week ago at the center of it all, and there was no fear. It's okay. I know how the whole game runs, and it doesn't matter, because what matters is love. And when you can sit in the presence of all of it, of all of the players, even the ones that say we're the ones in control, we're the ones in charge, and you have no polarized charge, the game is done. So when we're talking Tantra, we go back to that question. Let's ask everyone right now who's tuning in. Just take a moment. And here's the thing. How do we accelerate our Kundalini? Like, there's no more intellect going on. These are all shadow frequencies, the shadow of the mind. Place our hands, I've been sharing this for a long time. Place our hands on our high heart, close our eyes. The guidance is giving us the coordinates to activate these physical light bodies. Simply, you know, when I passed through the veils, one of my portal hops, January 11th, 2017, gave me the coordinates. The feminine Christos was ignited in my flesh. The feminine Christos vehicle. I've shared this many times. The guidance said, it's not your vehicle, it's a collective vehicle. And you're a humble servant here to bring the teachings of Christ consciousness. For anyone who's interested to know, how do we turn these light ships on? It's like we're down to 10 easy, simple steps. But when the mind keeps processing from the place of the intellectual, it says, no, that can't possibly work. It's way too simple, because the mind and intellect believed that everything was complicated, and that's a shadow frequency. It's like the universe keeps going. Here's the steps. Who wants them to take us into the quantum? So back to the question of anyone who's tuning in with us, let's take a moment and put our hands here right now. Just ask the question, what do I love right now the most about myself, my cells? And is there a word or a phrase or a sentence even coming to mind? Or are we just feeling the activation of our heart, the largest electromagnetic field of the body? When we, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, keep going. Don't pay
Okay.
attention to me.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah, like as soon as I do this, put my hands here and I ask that question, there are no words in my head. It's clearing the field. My antenna, my aura does not even have any words inside of it. The guidance is giving us the coding through the transmissions of these simple, easy steps.
Okay. So, can you say that one more time? Can you say, so basically, what you're saying is when the question is posed, there is no answer, right?
Well,
Right. I mean, there's nothing, right?
I just didn't experience any words, because what I'm always listening to the transmission, the guidance going, you guys want the 10 easy steps to light these things up? So then I was sharing with you what I was observing. I just observed this massive expansion in my heart when I
got
did
you.
that. And I didn't hear any words.
Okay.
I was reporting in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
See,
everyone who's tuning in,
I was
ask them, what did they feel? What did they hear?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I asked, because what I heard was like totally the other side of what you got.
What'd you get?
Mine was loud, loud, loud.
Perfect.
I got like what we were just talking about. I got like, you know what? You guys have come down here and kicked ass.
Yeah.
You guys are breaking a code. You're actually expanding a template. You're creating a template and a blueprint. You guys are doing this in the last place you even thought to go. Right? Because if you look at the whole construction of the matrix, it's all about leading us away from ourselves. Then we get into our mind, and because of the shadows and the subconscious and this and that, we're kind of blocked, right? It's not us. It can't be us. There's still something that, but the bottom line is it's like our own apocalypse, our own unveiling, our own ascension, right? It's about everything I receive and that I can offer, and I'm not as, but that I can express in a post or video or whatever is meant for me. First and foremost, it's meant for me. And I think this is where it goes down. I think it literally goes down inside of us, and not like in a cliche-ish way, but like it's like the more we're aligned in here. And what I mean by that is all this stuff we pull down and actually bringing it in, and then the human is at the head of the line.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I got.
maybe
It was a long
it's meant
speech.
for we. Well, you're a quantum downloader, and maybe it's meant for we. That's one of the things the guidance explained when the languaging we love we started coming in. What it did was confront all the aspects of the ego, the self, the vanity, the final shadow going, I don't really like that languaging. Well, then the guidance came out like months later and said, you know why we gave you that languaging? Because it unified your consciousness with every cell in your body. Because the more we use we love we, it started to speak to the whole body consciousness, and the body no longer felt left out because the human ego was driving the body vehicle around like owner rather than
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. But, things are moving so fast. I mean, I'm watching myself, I'm watching my partner, I'm watching other people I know, and I don't talk to people, but you don't have to in this atmosphere. It is quantum. Our relationship is quantum. You and I, it's quantum.
And
You know
we've
what I
had
mean?
some
Me, you,
good
her, and
hugs too.
yes, but I mean, it's quantum. It's like beyond just the non-physical, and there's something about the movement of it.
Yeah.
Like talking to you last night. I was in and out, but I don't have all I have to hear from you is 30 seconds. And really anybody that I know, 30 seconds here and 30 seconds 5 minutes later, and you pick it up, it's boom. You can look at people's pictures now. Their images. You don't ask me someone's name, but I can tell you who they are from what I've seen when I look at their picture, as it goes by the news feed every time. You can feel people's energy. So like you said, and this is to me very intriguing, all the containers dissolve. Well, what's not a container? Am I a container? Not Todd, the soul, the I am soul. Are you a container? I don't
Well,
even know.
the soul is a container. It's the causal body, and the soul has got to go. The soul, here's the thing, in the cosmic coordinates on the 10th of May, 2017, the soul body went down for the earth and the human collective. The soul was the container that held everything that we did in our recycling karmic cycles. It held all the vibrational energy of the things we did that were good. But in order to move into universal consciousness and quantum, the soul body has to go. And it did. 10th of May 2017. So everyone has been dealing with that quotation marks fallout ever since. And once again, here's the thing is that every time we contribute to how we did this, every time we participate on some level and do something that we're guided to, then we are an
Yeah.
all in. But it doesn't mean doing it from that old place where the old systems guaranteed the walls are not only cracking, they're cracked.
They're
They're
gone.
hundreds of feet under
So,
the surface of the earth plane. And
they're gonna find them down. They're gonna find them down there in the ruins of Atlantis.
yeah,
So along that line, you just had an experience over a few weeks, and you don't. I'm not saying if you want, you don't have to get into all the particulars, but you wouldn't have to, with what I heard. I mean, it in a general way, you could talk about the energy and the atmosphere that you were in, what you were representing, what was being represented and told to you, that I think is a reflection of what's going on for all of us, both globally and even individually, if you
exactly.
want to talk
And
about
if I, cosmic love, could be the voice to share and say, it's the thing we all know and we've said many times before. We're all on the same team. There's a song that was sung by the Royals called Team. Wait till you're announced. We have not lost all our graces. The hounds will stay in chains. Look up at your greatness as she sends the call out. This is the call. We're sending it out right now. It's called Cosmic Love. We live in cities you'll never see on screen, not very pretty, but we sure know how to run things. We live in ruins. Everyone's competing for a love they won't receive. And all this palace wants is release. This is what we're offering right now through this Blackwater app called Facebook, which we love dearly and deeply. We love all the players. We love all the creators. We love everyone on the game board. And this is the response from omniversal source to say, okay, everyone dropped to their knees and prayed for release. And this is the point and the purpose of this sharing tonight. If this love stream, if this sharing is helpful, please share it. Please share it on all of your sources. This is the call out, and she is sending the call out. It's called cosmic love. And it is the emanation from source creation of the unification of all of us. All is forgiven, all is released. All global karmic financial debt, the stories, everything is freed. And the final piece is the annihilation of the time-space continuum that we have called the earth. But that is not the consciousness of who is inside this structure. Gaia, Sophia, Tara.
We had Mary Rodwell on a couple days ago, and she was the first person that I've talked to in 1,600 shows that would, number one, have to be at a certain level, which means, you know, you've been in it for years and years. She's been in it 20 plus years, whatever, researcher, all that stuff. But I was talking to her about, and I don't remember what the context was, but it was talking in general about Matrix, Cabal, Illuminati, this and that, things you've been exposed to. And she said, you know, because we're talking about disclosure. Has it run its course? Like, is it now just a distraction? You know, these predictions and all these things are going to happen. And she said, you know, and the Archon, fourth dimensional stuff, and reptilian, whatever. And she said, you know, the thing is whatever energy we're holding is what we're being shown. And the fact is they're all players, a lot like what you just said, and they're all helping us. In our individual journey, everything that comes to us is helping us. It's showing us something. It's not separate from us. That cosmic love you're talking about is pure unity consciousness. And that's something that I think it's taken us a while to get used to, because we have personalized things so much in our journey. The human part of it, to me, is what's creating the biggest activations for me, is the human part. When Todd is included and Todd is aligned with these multidimensional aspects, and I don't give a F what comes at me, because we all had it come at us. I walked to the store last night in total, not fear, but scared. And I know there's a difference. Our car's in the shop. It's 25 minutes, 30-minute walk in pitch dark in bear country, right? And I didn't think about it because Todd is like a little kid. So I said, I'm going to do this show and I'm going to the store, which I've done for like 4 or 5 days in a row. But now the sun's down. When the sun goes down here, it gets very dark and very cold, very fast. So I tell Morgan I'm going to do it. She's like, you're not going to do it. You're crazy. She said, you know, the bears come out about right now and start eating. So then I sat outside for about 15 minutes and I was scared. I think I told you this last night. And then I came back in and she was messing with me, but I couldn't tell if she was messing with me. She's like, yeah, well, maybe it would be good for your manhood if you walk through the dark up to the store. But being in the place I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I did. And I guess what I'm saying is that as I was walking through it, the first 5 or 10 minutes, I was scared as shit. I had the flashlight. I was like doing like that. And then I took it to another level. I thought, wait a minute, you've had dimensional experiences. You know, you've dealt with this, you've dealt with that, you know, which we can all relate to at some level or another, just looks different when it happens. And I started thinking, well, what do you got? Well, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? A bear's going to come out here and kill you and eat you. I'm not afraid to die. I'd like to spend a whole bunch of years with Morgan and do some Soulogy stuff, but hey, I know I'm not going to die. I don't know. All this stuff to me is becoming impervious to my soul. All the Illuminati, the Cabal, the stories, the programs, the methods to get here and the methods to get there. To me, it's just all going to the same place and making me be so present in my life. That's uncomfortable for me. It's uncomfortable to be present in my life each and every moment and be raw and real and authentic all the time. But I think that's what we're headed for. I think we're all headed for this.
That's called cosmic embodiment.
Mm.
And it's the only thing that we were ever really afraid of, because that was the time bomb, so to speak, ticking off inside of us, which is why I always said, you know, the realms that are building fortresses under the earth, it's a paradox, because you can't build a fortress around the outside of yourself to protect you from something happening within. The caterpillar can't
Yeah.
protect itself from becoming a butterfly. So why were we called to do this love stream tonight? To say we can take the shortcut, simply love. It's here, it's real. I'm a testament to it. It's this day of cosmic love. It says in the dream spell that that this is about the window of going all the way to the central sun, the core of creation, and connecting to our spiritual selves. And it's cosmic love. The kin is called cosmic love, and the manifestation of cosmic love is the cosmic dog. We all know what dogs are like. We all know that dog is God spelled backwards. So, what does that tell us we're on the day of the manifestation of? Cosmic God within all of us. So, we choose how much more intellectual property we need to peruse through, how much more intellectual status we need to seek, how much more intellectual. This is the thing about knowledge. When we were sent to Egypt in 2017, part of the mission that was downloaded at Standing Rock was take all of the knowledge of the tree of good and evil and return it to the earth. Return the knowledge to the earth. Now, of course, in timelines, but that's not where we're existing. We're existing in cosmic quantum love. In timelines, we can go on and on pursuing intellectual content and intellectual creation for as long as we choose in linear. And if we knew how many times we had done that, because there is a gene called forgetfulness, if we knew how many times we had chased the same things over and again for status or approval or
Yes, but
nobility.
let me let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this. I think things changed. I think things have changed. I could be wrong. You know, people talk about the going from duality to the Trinity. So what you're describing to me, I totally get. I totally get that. In what did you call it? Intellectual,
Property.
whatever, admiration, property, attention, all that stuff, right? I totally did that. you know, and I think we all did. We all played in those programs. But I think there's another energy now. I think there's an energy now that is that third energy, that that third energy brought into the Trinity, from a duality. It's an energy that's actually originated through co-creation and expanded through collaboration and like-minded energies. And it's not the same type of creation. It's not a creation made from BS. It's not a creation made from toxic relationship frequencies or agendas. It's a creation that's actually made in pure love, that's first found with two and then three, and then, it builds. I think we're on to something way beyond what can we do to improve the earth. We're talking about what we can do to improve the universe. This is like we're in, people can talk about Gaia, talk about Mother Earth. It is an absolutely unique place, and we're unique and we're special and it's special. And it's not just to be here, but it's actually to do something with that energy. And I think that's the difference. And that's what I'm trying to say. I think in the duality, yes, but I think at least at a minimum, it's available and there's an opportunity to produce stuff from cosmic love, from pure love. You know, I think that's what's happening. That's why I think so many people are starting to come together in the physical, and you see it all every day on the news feed. And it's just like we did. And what happened? What happened? We went over. We sat under a cabana, and it was like, hey, what's going on? It was like, we'd seen each other a thousand times. You know, it was like the wow factor. We are the wow factor. Hmm. Always
Well,
nice talking to you.
I love you. It's always nice being with the Soulogy fam, and I'm guided to share one of the workshops that we participated in the other night, and it was with Matthew Arias and his beloved Andrea, and I don't recall Andrea's name at the moment, but they have traveled the world teaching Tantra. And this is this piece about coming into the body. It must come in order to go quantum. So that's really 2019, as your guest said last night. It was that, March 21st, 2019 was the day that purging for purity, or the purity purge, began. And I started praying for purity a year ago in November, just every day, just let my vessel be pure. And so we, at the workshop, we did all kinds of amazing things to break down those parts that are limiting the spirit's capacity to come into the form, because the spirit knows how to come inside these bodies and turn everything on. That's why the mind and the intellect is going to have to move over for everyone, because the mind and the intellect doesn't know how to turn these light switches on, the living light berry, the fifth gene. So what
The what? The fifth gene.
the
Is that what you
fifth
said?
gene, yeah.
Yeah, I told you, you sometimes you drop these little bombs on me. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me go back. This brings up a really good, I mean, for me, this brings up something in my inquisitive mind. So I guess the question is, okay, so you got like spiritual over here, scientific over here. Somewhere in the middle, it's spirit scientific. Somewhere in that middle is the 0 point or something like that. That's what I'm trying to say. On the scientific side, and I know I don't mean anything by that. I look at them the same. But on the scientific side, there is a lot of information, downloads, transmissions come in the form of modalities and processes where it like shortcuts you. There's no doubt. And then over here on the spiritual side, you've got the ancestral lineage, you've got all that stuff that we've dealt with that has that huge deep pool, that emotion and all that. One of my question is where does the shadow lie?
Where does
And the
the
reason I
shadow come in,
say,
did you say?
yeah, where does the shadow lie, whatever, where does it lie? And the reason I'm asking that is because I don't see any way of getting past I was told 8 years ago, you cannot miss a step. It was a very universal message. You cannot miss a step on the soul highway. And I look at what's happening and the trip that we're on, this quantum information coming in from the scientific side, and that emotional, heartfelt stuff coming in from the spiritual side. And if things aren't involved on both sides, are represented on both sides, after you gain awareness, they're no longer there, and the field is getting smaller and smaller. Where does the shadow lie? Is it in the spiritual? Is it in the scientific? What's the best way to shortcut it? You know what I mean?
Here's what I
If
call the
that's
shadow, the quantum. That's the
the
great
quantum.
paradox. See, the thing is, in duality, everything's a paradox. Mind's never going to find the answer. But when you ask the question, where's the shadow? My consciousness is swimming in the quantum as we're speaking, and it's going, the shadow is the quantum. Joe Dispenza always says, go into the blackness of space. What if that was
Yes.
the shadow?
Yes.
What if that's why religion,
The
we
shadows light the
created
way.
religion
That's,
to keep us away from the shadow, because the shadow is actually the quantum field.
yeah. Yeah. So and I still go back to the individual journey. Let me put it another way. How are you? How is it? How do you get up every day? How do you deal with triggers? How do you go from these colossal episodes and then you get struck with straight 3D? Like you walk in the store, you get pulled over by a cop or something happens. I mean, what's it been like on your human aspect to have had the journey you've had over the last few years? How did you honor it, love it, respect it, allow it, and align it?
Well, the 3D is definitely the density. You know,
You
the
there?
journey that I've been on, the 33 science fiction movie that I've been walking has been the adventure. It's the parts in 3D that are the most confronting. But those are the final pieces that we pull our energy away from. Just like the guidance always said, the captain on the ship is going to be the last one to
Yeah.
leave. So the banking issues or the police officer pulling us over or whatever, those are the final places that we unplug from in neutral, using the same tools that we used to navigate the parts that felt like adventure. And now that's why we're doing this show tonight on Cosmic Love, to say it's the final release. Fam, this is when we cosmically love and unify all those final aspects of the structure. Bless them and release them. Bless the tax officers, bless the police officers, bless the governmental structures, bless the Illuminati or the cabal or what, bless the bears in the dark of the night. Whatever it is that's holding us to the edge of the river, now is the time, the miracle, to bless that final piece in our stories. It's unique and different for everyone. Maybe the tax officer is, blessing the hippies. It's different for every being in this great play. But now is the miracle to bless these final, it's like when you do tear down at a festival. And anyone who tears down the domes,
Mhm.
you know which screws you pull out, and then it's like, all right, these are the last five screws or bolts we pull out, and everyone step back because the structure is coming down. And to share it from this place of love, of cosmic love, to say it's okay, it's real, and it's happening, and it's really okay. And if we lost Mr. Medina, I think he'll come back on, but we'll keep talking, and we'll say that if I just lost my train of thought there for a moment. I don't think I was even on a train of thought. It was cosmic wave. But if we want to talk about first waivers or second waivers and all of those things that are talked about by channels just to help describe what is occurring on the planet, we would say we are, fully in alignment the first wave is pulling the bolts out of the structures, has been for a long miracle coordinate. And now everybody stands back. The festival is over. It's the end of the play. And so we're really calling
Right.
all hands on deck to fully get involved and participate. And a huge part of that, you're back, Mr. Medina. Can you hear me, Mr. Medina?
You have no idea what's happening over here.
What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So when the show started, for the first 20 minutes, you had two voices. All right. And it kept popping in and out. And then we started having a conversation and it was all normal. And then about 5 minutes ago, like 3 or 4 voices came in and you kept freezing up and all these things were happening. And then all of a sudden I knocked off. And yeah, so that's par for the course with when we get together.
Maybe
Yeah,
should I
and
go off
guess,
for a minute and come back
yeah,
on?
it is what it is. This transmission. No, we're almost
Okay.
done anyway.
Okay.
I'm down to 6%. But no, but the thing is like we should talk again because I mean, the thing is the energy of what you're pulling down is because so much of this stuff, you hear people that do post and that do videos, and you'll see people say, and they'll tell the person, this is what I wanted to say, this is what I was feeling, but you said it right. You see that all the time in comments on posts, and it's the same kind of thing. That's the energy that I resonate with. I don't know. To me, it's like creation energy. And what you're saying to me is really pulling everything back to this very simple, pure place that used to be like this pie in the sky, platitude, or new ageism or whatever. And now it's actually within reach. And we can tell each other, go do it, but it doesn't matter. You got to do it. We all do it. We all will do it. We all can do it. We all will do it. And we're all meant to do it. And I don't know if there's a rush or not. Sometimes I like to get it over with, like, when I'm in situations like I'm in right now. And then 3 days later, something happens and you're nice and comfortable for a few weeks or whatever.
Oh,
But yeah, it's always good to see you.
so good to
And
see you.
yeah, so are you going to be hanging around in Vancouver Island for a while? Are you going to you want to come run around the US with some outlaws?
I come to the US. What did you say? What was the
Run
question?
around with some outlaws.
Yes. Yeah, I'm feeling the
Do you want to go
pull.
on the lamb? Do you want to go on the lamb? You want to
Yeah,
come ride with Bonnie and Clyde?
I'm feeling the pull. I feel, I mean, these
Yeah.
forests here in and around Vancouver Island are truly the most epic forests I've ever been in. The Elvins and the Fae are so alive, and the Star Nations and the clouds. You just don't see that. This is the most incredible cloud deck here of anywhere on the planet. And also feeling the call to some other locations.
Really?
Yeah. And your way and, Area 51 way. We'll just say it. Mine as well.
Area 51. Hey,
And
we already went by Area 51. You don't want to go by Area 51. Did I
it's
tell you what
better
happened when
now.
we went
Yes,
by
you
Area
did.
51?
It's all good now.
Did we tell you? But did we tell you about the cloud formation
No,
at Area 51?
no, you didn't.
Yeah. So we're driving. I think it was you go Reno, Area 51, and then Vegas. I think I don't remember. But anyway, as we approach Area 51, and you've been there, right? And they got that like they have a line of telephone posts, and then they got this other line. They're much bigger. They're like telephone poles on steroids, and they run for miles, right? And so as we were approaching it, because there's the mountains and the buttes around, right? There was this this formation of clouds, like oval, like all across the horizon in this one spot. And so you would think, you know, the clouds would be moving, and as you're driving more miles and we're getting closer, and that's only a 2-lane up until area 51, right? Right when you get to area 51, it changes. So it's just 1 lane, you know, 2 lanes each one way. So as we're getting closer and closer, these clouds aren't moving, right? And they looked weird. They look like spaceships, you know what I mean? And as we're driving by it, there's a helicopter coming out to the outer fringe where those giant telephone poles were, kind of like running the line there. And there's just some weird looking stuff. And, you know, we'd see like lights and little, you know, places over there, you know, but it's a huge place. But these clouds, and my impression was it was like they were on lockdown, you know, like the brothers were not going to let them do anything. It was just like on lockdown, and they never moved. And we told you last night about, you know, the energy of it. But yeah, I think a lot more people are going to be going on the road and being on the move. And I expect that you will be, which is what you've always done anyway. It's always
Working
good seeing
with
you.
the Stargate
And
portals. We're posing as a social media network for peace, healing and love and celebration everywhere we go. But we're really working with the Stargate portals now, and it's real. So yeah, let's do it and let's play. And the message is that, you know, it's safe to come out of our hiding. It's safe to come out of our shells. If you have something to contribute, all hands on deck are necessary now to help all aspects of ourself remember that we are simply love. And this is the message of cosmic love on this day. And, you know, the guidance always used to say, until you can sit at a table with the 7-headed monster that took your family out in some galactic war and some other civilization, I'm not going to be able to do this. But we've sat at the table with the 7-headed monster. I can say I've been there. It's done. It's over. This is the call out of cosmic love on behalf of all of creation. We are cosmic love, and all sides are ready. And all we need to do is outstretch our hand to each other, because we all have a gift to help each other back to the center called unity on all 9 waves of creation. We did it. We won love. ONE. It's done.
mic drop. Mic drop.
Well, we love we.
All right.
Yeah,
You take
let's do
care. I'll
this
see you
again
soon.
soon. So share the good vibes and beyond.
Sounds good. You be good. Stay warm. Peace out.
Love you
Thank you,
so
everybody, for coming
much.
in on short notice.
Thank you, everyone. We love we. Mwah.
You
Aloha.
take care.